In the summer of 1965, somewhere in the south of France, a lone farmer came face to face with a visitor from another world, and what he saw was so shocking that even the French police were left baffled. This is the incredible story of the Valensole UFO Incident. It was the morning of July 1st, 1965. Farmer Maurice Masse was working his fields of lavender near the village of Valensole in the Alpes-de-Haute-Provence region of France. It was just another hot summer's day. That was until Masse noticed something peculiar in the field in front of him. Halfway up a hill, nestled among his crops, was a small, shiny object that looked like an overturned boat. At first, he assumed it was a new type of aircraft, but as he got closer, he realized it was unlike any plane or helicopter he'd ever seen. It was low to the ground, oval-shaped and crafted from some kind of metal. It also appeared to be completely silent. As he watched, two strange beings emerged from the craft. They seemed small in stature, no taller than 4 feet, with large heads and long, slender bodies. They had slanted black eyes and smooth, hairless heads. Whatever they were, they seemed to be staring directly at him. According to Masse, the beings remained motionless for several minutes, just staring at him. He later told investigators he felt a sudden, inexplicable paralysis and couldn't move a muscle. Somehow the beings knew he was there. After what felt like an eternity, the small figures returned to their craft and vanished from sight. When the farmer finally regained control of his body, he ran to the spot where the beings had landed. He noticed that the ground had been scorched and a strong smell hung in the air. The plants around the perimeter of the craft had also withered and died. Lavender, as it turns out, hates the taste of UFO. Over the next few days, Masse returned to the field to continue his work. But every time he did, he noticed that the dead patch of lavender grew larger and larger. For years afterward, the plants in the area refused to grow properly. They remained stunted, and the soil was completely devoid of vegetation. Something about the UFO's presence had poisoned the land. News of the strange encounter spread quickly. Soon, reporters and local officials were swarming the poor farmer, desperate to get to the bottom of the mystery. The Gendarmerie Nationale, France's National Gendarmerie, a military force responsible for law enforcement, sent investigators to interview Masse and examine the site. But as far as concrete answers go, they came up empty-handed. The gendarmes concluded that the entire incident was likely a hoax, claiming that Masse had fabricated the story to attract attention and make money. But others weren't so sure. The French authorities were officially baffled. The case was eventually passed on to GIPON, France's official space agency UFO unit. The group attempted to recreate the events of July 1st, but their attempts only served to deepen the mystery. No one could explain how the plants had died or why the ground had been scorched. There were no tire tracks or other evidence that the object had been moved, and so the case remains unsolved to this very day. What exactly landed in that lavender field near Valensole in 1965? There are two possible answers, neither of which can be definitively proven. The first is that an experimental craft of some kind had crash-landed in the field. Perhaps it was a top-secret prototype that had malfunctioned and was being recovered under the cover of night. Or maybe it was a foreign spy craft being monitored by the authorities. These theories are plausible, yet they raise more questions than they answer. Why would a secret craft land in the middle of a French lavender field? And if it was a military operation, why did the soldiers leave the site seemingly abandoned? The second answer is far more intriguing, but also far less provable. What if the classic little grey men had come to visit? Were these extraterrestrial explorers simply monitoring the human population, or were they conducting experiments of their own? Did they come in peace, or are they a sinister threat to our very existence? Unfortunately, we may never know. What do you think really happened in Valensole in 1965? Let me know your theories in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more. Until next time.